But the big thing is, from everything that I've experienced with doing that and studied about the people who taught me that that's a better way to go, is it changes the way the potential client looks at you. Instead of issuing them an ultimatum, the price for the video is $10,000 and that's it. It's sort of, it's will I or won't I work with you? When you give 3 options, well, we can do a video for 5, 10, or the high-end video for $17,500. Instead of it being an ultimatum, the person on the other end is going, it's not whether or not I'm going to work with this person, it's how I'm going to work with them. Are we going to go for the base option at $5,000 that, gets 50 to 75% of what we need done, but it's not quite there. The middle option is a good fit. It's the Goldilocks thing, right? The middle option is a good fit. But now that I'm looking at the high-end option, that's a pretty good value. I didn't even think about wanting 24/7 access to the person, or I don't know, whatever the extra value-added things are. In comparison to the $10,000, the $17,500, let's go with that one. Or, when you were hoping they would take the $5,000 option, they're actually going to choose the middle one at $10,000, which is more than what you were expecting.
It's like how I always choose the middle car wash. I'm like,
the
basic
wash,
is like,
and that's it. So you see it all over the place. But why aren't we doing that with how we price our services or our value-based expertise?
Do you think that ever backfires in a sense of? So this has always been my contention with the 3 tiers, is approaching a job from the standpoint of, you have a problem, we need to solve it, we're going to do everything in our power to solve it, and here's the price it's going to cost for us to solve it.
Yeah.
And then so essentially you only give the top quote unquote option, or the middle option or whatever. And you're just like, hey, I think part of it is that always feels kind of gamey to me.
So you want to be careful that you don't think of it always as, well, let's just make up a low cost option that doesn't fully solve their problem, so we can funnel them towards the more expensive options. What I like to do, and the evolution of that approach for me, was each option solves the problem, but there are those intangible value adds. So the low option is, we're going to solve this problem, but you have restricted access to me. So I'm available by phone, email, or text between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to respond to emails. I'm not going to respond to phone calls, anything outside of that. And it's generally frowned upon that you would try to contact me beyond an email after business hours. Whereas the high-end option is, for this premium, and I wouldn't always do this, but you've got access to me 24/7. If it's 3:00 in the morning and you think of something and you want to call me and have a meaningful conversation about it and what we're doing,
I'll wake up, I'll get out of bed.
I'll wake up and have that conversation.
Yeah.
But I would add that as a value add on the 3 options, because in the value conversation, I went, you've done videos before. What were the biggest issues you had with your collaborators? Well, they were never available. I would call and they wouldn't call me back for 2 days. Okay, well, I'm going to make sure that in one of my top options, you will get a call back from me guaranteed within an hour.
Yeah.
If I don't answer the phone.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Well, what were the other issues? Well, they were late, or they didn't do this, or they left the location a mess. I mean, whatever it is. And you just try to kind of get a sense of what are the things that are most important to them in those sort of intangibles, where you can present 3 options that get the job done, but you can add, honestly, more luxury service, more hospitality, more access to you.
A little more white glove,
Or it can be a time thing. Hey, we're going to solve this issue. The low cost option, because of the other clients that we have, we're looking at a 6-month turnaround time.
Yeah.
If you want to buy us out, we can get this done in 2 months. But we literally, you're going to be our only focus, and you're going to charge a premium to have direct access to us.
I think there's even benefit to the other side of that, where it's like, look, we got a lot of clients. We're going to have to rush through this project. We're going to have to get it in and out, try to do it in like a month.
Yeah.
Like, because that, like, to do the best work, we need to do this in a month and get it out and move on to the next client.
Yeah.
If you're willing to pay for the premium, we'll spend 3 months on it.
Yeah.
We'll think through every detail, and then we'll think it through again.
Yeah.
Because we have the time. Like, we will spend a day. I mean, I'm thinking of it in terms of like design. Like, we will spend a day looking at each typeface we pick. We will spend a day looking at like your company's historical values, where you want your company to go. What, like, we'll spend a week looking at all your competitors, or we'll condense all of that. You know, you get a couple hours for each one of those steps in the process, and then, you know, you'll get a product in a month. So I think you could also service it in terms of like, and I mean, yeah, you're talking about post time and video.
Yep.
It's like, we could take 6 months on this. We could take a month.
Yeah.
You're willing to pay for the premium, but I get it. You're saying it's more time based than, necessarily like delivering on it's like access and
it's other things that have value to the client based on that value conversation, things that are important to them. You know, so like if you hire the carpenter to make the walnut thing, like, well, how long do you think this would take? Well, you know, for me to do this, it's $2,000 and it's probably going to take me 6 months. Well, what if I paid you 10 and I got it next month?
Yeah. Whoa.
Because it's worth it to me to have this thing ASAP, and I'll pay a premium for you to move your butt without you know. Now, if they're going to be like, well, that's going to sacrifice quality. You know, how do I maintain the quality? What's the fastest I can get this? And because timeliness is of value to me, I will pay a premium. You know, it's like getting your car repaired. Like, well, we're booked up all week. Well, can I pay you 4 times the amount and get my car done tomorrow?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, most of us don't think in those terms, or we don't. You know, you don't have the expendable income to do that sort of thing. But think about all the times that you've gone to great expense or to have something sooner, faster, more quality, you know, whatever it was, because the value of that outcome was so important to you that you were willing to put some more risk into the situation to try to acquire it.
It had been a golden afternoon, and I remember having the familiar conviction that life was beginning over again with the summer and summer.